Hello and welcome to the Art of Artisan. A couple small things. First of all, I've been sick this week. I may make misplays because I'm still a little bit recovering from that. My voice may sound a little bit weird. Also, if you can follow me on Twitch, if you're a Twitch person, then I will be streaming occasionally, trying to find new decks for this series. It has been tough. Dominaria United has not actually felt that good for Artisan. More than anything, the reduced card pool. Artisan relies heavily on synergies. Playing without rares and mythics requires a lot of synergies to keep up with ladder decks. And without as many cards, there's less synergies. So I struggled really hard to try and find a good deck for today. And I'm not even sure if this one's good. I've only tested it in like 2 games, but it won both, so we'll see how it goes. But this is Izzet Burn Bright. The premise of the deck is cheap, evasive creatures. We've got Lantern Bearer, Network Disruptor, and Phoenix Chick, all of which are 1/1 flyers for 1. And then Goldhound, which has Menace, which is also sort of evasion for a 1/1 for 1. And then we've got ways to refill our hand, because we're going to be dumping 1-drops. In Unlucky Witness, which when it dies, fills our hand. Battlewing Mystic, which we can kick it and discard our hand and draw 2. So if our hand's empty, this is literally just a draw 2 on a stick. And then Reckless Impulse, which draws 2 with Impulse Draw. And the way we're actually going to try and win the game, because beating down with 1/1s is not very effective, is we're going to turn them into 3/3s with these 2 Burn Bright effects. Both these, really the only line of text that matters on them most of the time is creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Ambitious Assault, sometimes we have a modified creature, we draw a card. Warhost Frenzy, theoretically we could sacrifice Goldhound to it to kick it, but we're almost always only caring about the +2 to the attack of everything. Wandering Mind is another evasive threat in our deck, and it is here also to find our copies of Ambitious Assault and Warhost Frenzy. Then as far as closing out the game goes, we've got Kumano Faces Kakazan and Lightning Strike, just burn spells that are also good in the middle game. We can remove a flyer or a reach creature. We can ping our opponent for 1, get something else down for our Burn Bright effect. Pump up one of our flyers with Kumano Faces Kakazan. Also, they're in the deck so that we make sure Wandering Mind at least hits something. Wandering Mind has a 14.5% chance in this deck still to whiff, to just hit absolutely nothing. But I still think it's worth it in the deck. It's a pretty solid creature overall. So that is Izzet Burn Bright. It's a hyper aggro deck. We're going to be dumping our hand. We're going to be hoping to draw one of our Burn Bright effects. And we're going to see if we can beat opponents before they can really catch their footing. So let's get to the games and see how it does. Game 1, playing against Yayo 513. And we've got a pretty solid curve out with this hand. Trying to think. Wandering Mind can hit Burn Bright, maybe. This should be okay. At the very least, we've got aggressive, evasive creatures, so we might be able to just race an opponent. We're always going to lead with Phoenix Chick to start chipping in for damage immediately. Unlucky Witness can bog up the ground just a little bit. That changes my plan slightly, yeah. We're going to Network Disruptor. Tap down the opponent's land. Play Unlucky Witness. And swing in with the Chick. Now, our biggest fear with this deck is Meat Hook Massacre, and we are just going to lean into it. If we get meat hooked, we get meat hooked, and we cry. That's it. There's really no getting around it. We just have to deal with that. So our hope is to just not run into that matchup. And we've got our opponent pretty close to Burn Bright is lethal. Tap down your land again. Our opponent is also mana screwed, which means it's really the perfect time. If we draw Burn Bright, then we get our opponent down into Lightning Strike range. Mirror Box, yeah, that's going to be a little bit too slow. Wandering Mind, what do you hit? Hopefully our opponent does not have a sweeper. There we go. That's a Burn Bright effect. So we have lethal next turn, and our opponent knows it unless they can remove 2 of our creatures. Even then, we still probably will kill our opponent. They need to be able to wipe our board. Wipe our board, gain a bunch of... Okay, wipe our board it is. Shoot. Okay, that's pretty brutal, honestly. Yeah, that's real brutal. But we will get to ping our opponent, then ping our opponent, then Lantern Bearer, and we're back to threatening lethal with Burn Bright. Burn Bright is an ambitious assault, yeah. Opponent got land screwed. I mean, we did a little bit too, but our deck is designed to play at a low curve. And we got him. Through a Meat Hook Massacre, no less. Let's get to game 2. Game number 2. Playing against Kali Hyperion. And we've got a bit of an awkward start. No blue mana, but we do have Reckless Impulse to maybe find it. Got 2 Burn Bright effects, which we really only want 1 in a game. It's usually our finisher. I think we mulligan. This could be bad, though. Okay. This is livable. Yeah, this is livable for sure. Phoenix Chick is a really nice start off to any game. We're actually going to dump the land because I'm a rebel. I am maximum greedy, and I'm just going to hope that these unlucky witnesses hit lands eventually if they ever die. Hopefully our opponent isn't sweeping our board to kill them. Hopefully they have creatures of their own that we can just chump block. Ooh, sweet. All right, we've hit enough lands now. Now we just need to draw Burn Bright effect. And hope that our opponent is not going to play Raffine. Raffine is a card that I have run against with this deck, and it's been pretty terrible. Ooh, Duress. Whiff. Sweet. Reckless Impulse. Wandering Mind, Goldhound. Dang it, we're not going to get to play both of those most likely. But Wandering Mind is really good. That's a Burn Bright on a stick, hopefully. Drawing any land that's untapped would be nice here. There's the Raffine that I was worried about. Okay, we Wandering Mind. One downside of Wandering Mind is our opponent sees that we have the Burn Bright in hand, and they can play around it better. So that's a little bit scary for us. But if our opponent does not have a Meat Hook, if they have a Meat Hook, they're playing it now. Okay. Yeah, if they had Meat Hook, they wouldn't be spending removal spells on those, so I'm fine playing everything out. Let's go. Okay, opponent. What do you got? If they don't play any more blockers, we have lethal. Reservoir Kraken. Okay, that's 1 blocker. We will decline. What wins us the game? Is there anything that wins us the game? Not really. Oh, that's a great draw, though. We will decline. And we will swing with everything. Opponent blocks 1, blocks another. Oh, interesting. I think that was a mistake, honestly. We are one lightning strike away from winning. I guess that was kind of smart. They prevent us from playing stuff that we flip, play the island, and all those go away. When we get Battlewing Mystic, we've got 3 damage in the air. Uh-oh, opponent. Do they have an answer? Oh, they don't! They're desperately digging for Meat Hook. They need a Meat Hook Massacre or they are dead. They discard 2 lands. They're flooding out. Oh my goodness, they have a Void Rat. Oh, that doesn't do it. They needed to kill the Phoenix chick. Oh, that doesn't work either. We can pump up with Lantern Bearer. Oh my goodness. Oh, that seals the deal. Okay, swing in with everything. Opponent. Iganjo. Does not matter. We've got Ambitious Soul. And we are burning bright. Taking down Esper, which is probably one of the better decks in the format post-rotation. Not quite as good as Mono Black. Ugh, Mono Black. But we took them down. Let's get on to game 3. Game 3. Playing against Electro-Fu. And we've got a pretty land-heavy hand. I think we keep... do we keep this? I think we keep it and we hope we draw action. Yeah, let's keep it. Keep it and hope. Okay, that's action. Lead off with Goldhound. So we want to draw Burn Bright effect, obviously. We want Reckless Impulse, maybe, to draw cards. Battling. Uh, Save Network Disruptor for when we actually need to tap something down. Swinging with the Goldhound. So Battlewing Mystic maybe is an okay card to dump our excess cards in hand. Welcoming Vampire, that is rough. Not a huge problem yet, but that's going to slow us down generally. Network Disruptor to tap it down. Our opponent's on some sort of, I don't know, a white-green humans, perhaps. But we can get in for a little bit more, but this is looking real rough at the moment. We need our card draw. Oh, King Darian, that's good. That's real good. Opponent playing defense. Yeah, that's going to get them pretty far here, I think. Although they aren't really removing our board, and I'm not scared of a sweeper. So I guess that's in our favor, but we're 5 lands, which is a little bit bad for our deck, and we've only been drawing 1 drops, none of our refill cards. Good draws include things like Lightning Strike on King Darian seems okay. If they start pumping him up and just going wide, then we're dead. We cannot handle that. Oh gosh, that's life gain. That's so much life gain. Yeah, I don't know what we do against that. Gosh, that's so good. And it can kill our Goldhound. And we're flooding. Shouldn't have done that, but we're going to triple swing with the Unlucky Witnesses and see what we hit. Wandering Mind is our best hit. We really want to hit a Wandering Mind. Should have swung with only 2, come to think of it. You're going to block 1. If you're going to block 1, just a tip for players playing against Unlucky Witness. It's usually best to block all 3 in this situation. Because if you're going to prevent any of the damage and like let me draw cards, overload my hand with cards. Because if you overload my hand with cards, then I can't actually play them all and I don't get full value off of them. Which is part of why I was thinking maybe I should only swing with 2. Bum, bum, ba, 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 da, bum, ba, dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a weird mood right now. Uh, I'm I'm not a mood. I am in a bit of a mood. Still being sick. We are we are kind of close to winning if we get a Burn Pride effect. If our opponent doesn't like blocking the Unlucky Witnesses, I mean, I don't know. Our opponent's really taking their time to decide. A Johnny Sleeper Agent. They gain Vigilance until end of turn is a line of text I do not want to see against our Burn Bright deck, where we're playing a bunch of 1/1s. I also don't want to see our opponent getting lots of creatures. Wedding Announcement. Speaking of getting lots of creatures, dang. Oh good, they're attacking. I like when the opponent attacks. That means they have less blockers. Granted, they have all the blockers they need. Yeah, they've got lots of blockers. Wedding Announcement, triggers. Oh, Welcoming Vampire too. And it's a 2/2, and we're hitting lands. Um, Swinging with 1 Unlucky Witness at your face. What say you, opponent? They take it. Okay. There's still some slim hope. It's very slim hope, but we've got it. Like, Reckless Impulse into Burn Bright and Lightning Strike, if our opponent blocks wrong, could get our opponent. It's the chances are going down, especially if our opponent gains 4 life here or destroys one of our creatures. And gaining 4 life is what they chose. I now think we lose, but I'm going to play it out anyways. Hopeful Initiate. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Well, we did not draw our Burn Bright effects. We did not draw our card advantage effects. That was a rough game. On to game 4. Game number 4. Playing against Magus. Magus. And this is such a risky keep. This would be an extremely risky keep if I kept it. So, 1 color of mana. The opponent's going first. I'm going to risk it. We are playing an all-in deck. Let's play all in. Not looking great. Reckless Impulse is a reason I might keep an all-red hand, but it's not a reason I'd keep an all-blue hand. Oh, that sucks. That's like the worst draw we could have. Yeah, I think we lost already. I was way too risky there. What? Okay. Some opponents do not want to play against aggro. I think our opponent was as land screwed as we were, and our deck is better at it than theirs. I think I'm going to do a bonus game, though, because of that one, but I am going to count it in the record because our opponent probably did not have an answer to what we were doing, even if we had a terrible hand. On to game number 5. Game number 5 versus Plumsh. And we've got a good hand. Okay. Even if Wandering Mind doesn't hit a Burn Bright effect, we can just dump hand to Battlewing Mystic and draw. Yeah, this is good. Only thing that would make it better is if we were on the play. We are set up perfectly to be on the play. Opponent on something red. Oh, sweet. That's Burn Bright. We'll get in for one. Opponent said, oops. I think it was an apology for taking so long on their first turn. So I respect that opponent. We are going to try and aggro out our werewolf opponent. Whew. My throat. Okay. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Very strong card. That's like a very, very strong card. To the point where if I heard like, so like the three cards that I feel like, actually there's really, so something from Mono Black I feel like could get banned. I've been seeing other people play against Mono Black, and Shieldred, Liliana, Invoke Despair, and Meathook Massacre. Between those four cards, specifically aggro has no chance against Mono Black. Shieldred is life gain and a really big blocker. So Shieldred shuts down the ground. Then Meathook Massacre handles any go wide strategy, and Invoke Despair handles any go tall strategy. And so you're left with just a really impossible situation playing against Mono Black if you're trying to go aggro. Kumano faces Kakasan. I can dump two Kumano faces Kakasans and a Lightning Strike, and then play a Network Disruptor. Is this good? I know I can do it, but is it actually good to do? So what I want to do is I want to flip these Kumano faces Kakasans for when I do Warhost Frenzy. Network Disruptor gets the counter from these two, potentially. Yeah, we'll do this. Opponent has some sort of 1-mana red spell. Oh no, potentially a 2-mana red spell. It's probably a Lightning Strike. We'll swing in. Get our opponent a little bit lower. And actually, wait a second. Burn Bright is lethal next turn if our opponent... yeah, Burn Bright is lethal. So we're just going to do this. And we're going to hope. Tap down Tovolar. And see if our opponent has any removal. If our opponent has removal, we lose. Almost guaranteed. If our opponent doesn't, we win. Almost guaranteed. So let's see if they have it. Just like play Avabruck Caretaker. Avabruck Caretaker or swing out. Like this. Oh yeah, Tovolar's Huntmaster. Play a Tovolar's Huntmaster, please. That's where I'm at right now. Oh, they got red mana. Dang it. Dang it. Okay. They can hit us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 exactly next turn. 10, 11. Okay. So we have to kill something next turn. Okay, this is fine, I guess. Actually, if we drew a land, would we have had lethal? Yeah, if we drew a land, we might have had lethal anyways. That sucks. We cannot let everything flip, so we have to kill Tovolar with Lightning Strike here. Tovolar. If they have Snakeskin Veil, we lose. Okay. No Snakeskin Veil. That's 8 damage on board. That's a lot of damage, but we've got lethal coming up here. Reckless Stormseeker kills us. Actually, any 3-power creature. Oh shoot, any 3-power creature kills us because Kiki-Jiki can give it pseudo haste. Oh yes, no pseudo haste. That's 8 damage. No lightning strike, no play with fire, no haste creature. No lightning strike, no play with fire, no haste creature. No, dang it. Alrighty. We take our beats. That was kind of actually lucky running for the opponent, I feel like. Yeah, they just had the removal at the right time and then the pump spell at the right time. And that cleans us out. Well played, opponent, I guess. Let's get to game number 6. All right, game number 6, playing against Casper. And we've got an aggressive hand with a Burn Bright. All flyers. We're on the play against Mono Black. Okay, hard mode activated. Playing against the best deck in the format. Can we somehow get there through Meat Hook Massacre? Alright, so we have no chance against this deck if they have Meat Hook Massacre. There's no playing around it. There's no... Oh, it's Rakdos. Okay, that's slightly better, maybe. Slightly worse, maybe. I don't know. It's still bad. Black plays Meat Hook Massacre. They may still be an Invoke Despair deck. If they are, we're just... Yeah, there's so much that can go wrong here. But we do have the Burn Bright. We've got a lot of creatures coming. Our opponent's probably not going to want to Meat Hook us until Kamano flips. And the turn that Kamano flips is the turn that we're playing Warhost Frenzy, hopefully. Also, it looks like our opponent's not actually playing the best deck in the format. This is looking like some non-tier version of it. Oh, we need a land. We need a land pretty badly. We're only hitting for 4 in the air every turn. Opponent's definitely a Meat Hook Massacre deck. Please, no Meat Hook. We didn't draw our lands. No Meat Hook and we have lethal. Okay. Okay, that's fine. All right, red land. Red land would be great. Because then we can just Lightning Strike, finish the game. Oh goodness, are we going to pull this off? It's not a land. We need red land, or even just any land at this point. We have so close to lethal. Yep, we can't pay for it. Land screw why? Okay. They still take 2 damage from it, in a way. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have lethal next turn. Oh, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Target player sacrifices a creature, we'll get rid of a Phoenix chick. Hopefully we can get them back eventually. No removal. Opponent, please. Actually, no, removal still doesn't get us. Our opponent needs 2 removal spells, neither of which is Infernal Grasp. So, like, cut down, strangle sort of thing. Oh, this is good. Okay. We've got this. Cut down. Alright. Opponent, please have nothing. Swing in at your face. Yes! Lightning strike for the finish. We didn't even need our Burn Bright. Oh, I should have Warhost Frenzy there. I should have, but it did not matter. We got the win against a Rakdos Midrange deck, which is really a scary deck in the format. Oh, let's get to the deck wrap up. 4-2 record, which is nothing to scoff at. Although I will say this is a best of 1 deck. If you're trying to play best of three, this will not be a 4-1 deck because people will bring in more removal, they will mulligan for their meat hook massacres, and you will die. But if you're trying to grind daily wins and you have the blue-red spell thing, this deck gets a big thumbs up from me. This deck turned out really well. Let's talk about some of the underperformers and overperformers. Unlucky Witness was a bit of an underperformer in this deck, but I don't know what to replace it with. The best I can come up with is maybe Voldaren Epicure to just be a cheap creature to burn bright with that also pings our opponent, a little bit of card filtering. I could see Voldaren Epicure being a decent choice there. Um, Other cards. Kumano Faces Kakazan. I think one of the most powerful things is its turn 2, is its second phase, giving a +1/+1 counter onto something. Because all of our creatures have flying or menace or something, and putting the +1/+1 counter onto one of those is sort of the equivalent of it creating a 1/1 flyer. Like it gives us 1 power in the sky, which is really powerful for a 1-drop that turns into a 2/2 later. So Kamado Faces Kakazan, I'm really impressed by in this deck. I think it's also necessary to keep because of Wandering Mind finding it. I think our number of Burn Bright effects was perfect. We had some games where we were desperately trying to find it. We had a game where we had to mulligan because we had too many in our opening hand. So I think on average the deck is somewhere in the middle, right where we want it to be. So I think having the 6 is perfect. Battling Mystic underperformed, but I don't think I'd replace it in the deck. Um, I think it holds a role for if you do happen to dump your hand, like it can do that, but also we are in a standard where there's no good cards to replace it. I honestly don't know what I would replace Battlewing Mystic with. We need flyers, and we don't really have any more 1-drop flyers. So this is a 2-drop flyer that swings in for 2. That's pretty powerful, and its ability might come up sometimes. So I think that was great. Lightning Strike, we had a game where it served as removal, but it didn't quite save us. We had a game where it served as a finisher, just going at our opponent's face. I think having 2 in the deck is about right. We don't want too many spells, we want more creatures. And we won a game through Meat Hook. Wandering Mind performed a fantastic role. It's card advantage on a 2/1 flyer, which is so good. I am happy with how this deck turned out. I recommend you try it out if you have most of the cards. A lot of these cards are not going to be useful much anywhere else. I mean, when are you going to actually want Ambitious Assault or Warhost's Frenzy in a normal deck? But as it goes, this deck is super, super effective for being an Artisan deck right after rotation. So with that, thank you for watching the video, everyone. If you have ideas for Dominaria United cards you'd like to see, I'm thinking of doing a Balmor deck. I'm thinking of doing a Baird deck. But if you have other ideas, interesting things you want to see me do, stuff for Explorer as well, just let me know in the comments. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and keep enjoying Budget Magic.